Hi, Dot. Good to see you. Just let me get my lighting all fixed up here. Good to see you. Just let me get my lighting all fixed up here. Good to see you. Oops, sorry. Let me get my exposure. Why is that not? I have a different exposure for YouTube and StreamYard for some reason. I don't know why. I think that's good. And there's a lag, so I have to wait to see what it's doing. Yeah, that looks good. All right. Get my chat up. Oh, shoot. All right. All right. Enough of that. So welcome to my studio, everybody. Hope you're having a great day. Kind of a rainy day here, but the rain is always nice to get here. And just thought I'd show you what I did last Tuesday on Watercolor Tuesday. And we also started drawing. So I do a step-by-step on how to draw this cute little sparrow. And then we painted it, add a little bit of line work with marker. And I think it turned out pretty good. And simple instructions. So if you want to take a look at that, it's last Tuesday. And I just use this is not even watercolor papers. This is just a sketchbook. Now, last Thursday, I ran out of time. It took a little longer than I thought. And we did this mermaid. And this is one of my drawings of a mermaid, and I have it available for all levels on my YouTube membership and Patreon if you're interested. If you're interested in the Patreon, though, subscribe in the beginning of the month, not on the end, because you will be charged if you go, say, today. You'll be charged today, and then next week you'll be charged again. So go on the first of the month when it comes to Patreon. YouTube doesn't do that. They just charge you on the day that you initially subscribed. I'm out for supper. I'm going to my Stitchers meeting, so I may just okay. Have a fantastic evening, Dot. That's great. All right, so we got this far, and this is on just a file folder. Hey, Riri. And we're using a little bit of a mixture of artist grade acrylics. There's different brands here. And then also craft paint. I mix the two. This is just for my own personal journal, so it's not going on a canvas. If you are planning on putting it on a canvas for a gift or for sell, whatever, I would probably use your artist grade acrylics then, just to make sure that everything stays the way it should. So we did this skin and the eyes and the water, and I want to finish her up. So we're going to be finishing up the skin tones, doing the hair, and then the lily pads and the lily flower last. And just roll up my sleeves because I am terrible at getting paint on my sleeves. So we were using these colors for the skin. So shading flesh, warm white, and highlight flesh, I believe. There's different ones. There's pink chiffon. I might have used pink chiffon actually. We'll see. And I'm just using most of the time this is oh no, that's, where is it? A round craft brush. Zaka, I think it's called. This is a number 5 round. Because it's small areas, so I don't need to get into big brushes. You can use whatever you're familiar with. I always say use the right size brush for the size of area you're doing. So you don't want to use something like this and do the background, you know, and you don't want a huge brush and try and do all those little details. Just common sense. So I'm going to put some paint on my, I believe I had asphaltum too. All right, so a warm white. I'm pretty sure we used the warm white. So I'm just going to put some of these on my palette here. And yes. Hey, Devin. A little bit of that. And well, I'll just put this one on. I know I had some asphaltum or umber color too. And if you're just starting out, you can see last Thursday's video on how I did the initial. Hi, Kathy. Came to give. Oh, thanks. Are you frozen? I don't. Oh, maybe I am. Wait a minute. Could be. Yeah, it looks like I am. Shoot. Okay. Oh, I'm going to come in and go out. I think I can do that. Who knows? I'm going to try. Not remove. How do you do this? Do I leave studio and then come back? Yeah, I'm on stream, but what do you press? Do you leave studio or do you are on observant gal? Oh. Can you hear me? Just leave, don't quit. Okay. Where is it again? Move. I can't find it. Yes, you can. I can hear you. Okay. Just leave, don't quit. But how do you leave? Oh, wait a minute. Leave studio. Okay, I see it. Okay, leave. Okay, I'm back. Are you seeing me? Okay, do you see me now? You must be very proud of. Oh, your grands were up? I was outside all day yesterday. It was a beautiful day, and I had to fix my waterfall. It had a leak in it somewhere. And we see your hand move. Awesome. Great. All right. Thanks, Dee. So I thought I would just finish this up. Like I said, you can go and see the part 1 of the Mermaid in a Lily Pond from last Thursday. We just need to change our settings to 720. Yeah, I don't have 1080p. I'm 720 here. So on her hair, I'm going to be doing, I have this black plum. I think that might be kind of cool for her hair. Thanks, Dee Dee. It defaulted back. Cut it this. Black plum for her hair. What do you think? I think that might be kind of cool. So, it's fairly dark. I'm gonna put her hair in, and then we'll just put I gotta figure out where her, it's fairly transparent, but it'll work with the background of the blue, so that might come to be an advantage. Okay, she has these fin ears, you could say. Now I have to look at my reference that I drew, because I covered them up when I was doing the shoulder. Actually, I think I'll leave that for a minute, because I might have to go back and put some of that back. A little bit more skin touch-ups. I don't want to have to work around the hair, so we'll fix those up first, and then we'll put the hair on top. But this can be put in just a bit, so we know where we're coming from. And just lightly flicking it into her scalp area, because we'd be able to see her scalp along the face there. This is just a simple base coat. Okay, she has a bit of a widow's peak, so let's put that back in. Make sure you line it up with the nose. I'll probably have to put a little bit of a darker color in, maybe. I just want a little bit of an outline so I know where I'm going with this. We'll check back. Like plum hair, Kylie. Okay, Dee Dee, have a good afternoon. All right, so we have this area here, and I'm going to take the medium color. That was the high flesh color, basically. And I'm just going to soften this up a little bit. It's kind of a little bit on the streaky side, and I want it to be a little bit more soft looking. So we'll just add a little bit more to this. And then a little bit of this color. Maybe go around the bottom just a little bit more. You just kind of mix back and forth to get that blending. And you can use a stiffer brush. Some people like to what they call scumble. Usually that's done with a drier brush and a little bit of a bristle brush to it. Hey, Zandra, do you want me to come in it so you can see a little bit closer? I know you like me. While I do the rest of the hair and stuff. Is that okay? Just don't have too much water on your brush when you're doing this. And I usually just wipe it off with a paper towel. Kind of a little bit of shadow in here from the hair. All right, and then a little bit more on the highlights, just around here, top of her shoulder here. Will be a little bit lighter. So it's just a back and forth thing you have to play with. See how it's a little bit nicer looking, a little smoother. We can do that with the face too, just a little bit. So let's take some of that darker color. Right in here. And a little bit in here. Where it's darker. And that medium color on the cheek. Blend it in a little bit. Just makes it a little bit smoother looking when you do this, when it's wet. you're blending while it's still wet. Instead of applying wet into dry, it's wet into wet. A little bit of the warm white. Top part be the brightest area. Above her eyebrows a little bit lighter too. And then this color here, a little bit, it's more shaded on this side here. Nose. A little bit of this color, the medium. Just bring that in a little bit just to soften the edge. Just have to pay attention to your shadows. A little bit darker in here. Right, and let's put this in a little bit more. It's really kind of blotchy looking here. It's darker, but I want it nice and soft looking. Some people like more of a impressionistic style. It's really a preference thing. Sometimes I like that, sometimes I don't. A little bit down her nose, I think. Right here. And a little bit more shadow. And your nose is all about shadows when shading. And I think we can put a little bit in here. A little more in here. I always take out a lot of paint, and I don't really need that much, but I do have a lot of paint I have to use up. It's old, and it's starting to get funky. A bit more there. Right along her nose line here. There's a little bit of a shadow on the lip here. Just have to play with it. That's pretty good there. Okay, I need a little bit of white, I think. Just a smidge. Some real high highlight areas, like powerful highlight areas. And that needs white. Pretty highlight here. And here. But I want it just a damp brush, and I kind of tap in the edges a little bit so it's not like a straight line. Right in here, there's a big area that's pretty highlighted. And her cheek here has got some pretty highlight areas. And right in here, there's a little area. She has a lot of hair coming down. I think her chin needs to be a little darker, though. Not quite that. Oh, let's mix. Not that quite bright. that, and then that asphaltum. Use a smidgen of that for the darks. Remember, there's some really dark areas in here. So under her lip's pretty dark. Just bring it up the side of her cheek there a little bit. And kind of pat it around that area of the corner of her mouth. There's usually a little bumps out a little bit. Actually goes into the mouth just a smidgen here, like that. I think like that. And then I think I need to bring out her lip over just a bit. Trying to remember what color I had that. I think it was red. Hey, Lisa. Just a smidgen. Just needs to come up just a bit in here. So take a little bit of that fleshy color. Go around there a little bit. Blend that just in a little bit. I know there's all kinds of hair going over her face and that type of thing, but she does have some very bright highlights. So I want to put those in first before I get going on the okay. She does have some in her eye, but I'm going to put that in with pen. All right, so let's put in her hair. So just basically it's a base coat of this plum. What was it again? Black plum. That's what we're going to put her hair in. And it does come across her fin ears like this. And I might have to use a darker color just to get some of this dark enough, because I'm going to try some asphaltum first and then I'll put some of that black on. It's not coming out quite as dark as I want. especially in this side area where the hair is really dark. It's more black than anything else because of the shadow. So we'll use that in this area. We can always put the black plum back on. This will give our base coat of the hair. Let's see. This is part of it. Right in here. Right there. There is a bit of water showing through this because her hair's all wet. So just remember that when you're painting it. It won't be one solid mass. It's kind of stringy looking because it's wet. Like that. Let's put some on this side here because it's not quite dark enough here. Alrighty. Let's see. That kind of goes. All right, so this one comes down, round. Gotta remember it's on her shoulder, so it will have a bit of a shape according to what her shoulder is, because it follows the form, how it lays. This one here. Okay, I'm going to take a chalk in here somewhere. Pastel or charcoal pencil. Here it is. And I'm just going to put these lines in here so I know where to place everything. So this comes up around. And then there's one that comes up like that. And these come down around the cheek. Remember, there's all kinds of strands and put things in so you can figure out which way the hair is falling or comes across there. Another one comes down there. This one comes across. Okay, so let's follow some of those. Okay, you're still seeing me? Good. More of that paint out. I want it fairly a little bit watered down because I want it to flow off my brush nicely. Could probably do this with a marker too, if you wanted to. And then we'll put highlights and low lights on it. Holding my breath. All right. Darker ones here. Mm. And this here is where it kind of floats in the water, on the top of the water. And then this one. I'll probably go back, cover some of those up again. Let's cover this with this dark color. I think I need the dark for this. Right? I'd be afraid to do that to her face. You gotta just do it. You'll never know until you try. You just have to try it. Let's try some of this plum now on top of this and see how it looks. Put it in her hair here and there. Darken the areas, some of it. We'll add some highlights too. Would be dark in there. And right in here, be dark by her face. Okay. Just try it. It's paper. You have the tracing. You can try it again. If it doesn't work out, learning experience. A little bit of this black plum, I like it. Just adds a little bit of something. We'll add some highlights too. And maybe some low lights, maybe even darker than this. Just have to remember, each time you do it, you draw this out or paint it, each time you learn, and each time you get better. Don't look at it as a mistake. It's always a learning process. Okay, that looks a little better. Let's see. Well, I think I'm going to darken this here. Now I want to take a smaller brush. Let's do this one here. This is a number 1. It's a plaid, nothing special. And I just want to get some of these lines in the face here, a little darker. Now, if you had some markers, you could use those. It's just that you have to find a marker that is the right color. Okay. Like that. Okay, we'll let that set. Now let's do something with these ears. So what color should they be? Fleshy color or a little bit on the green? No, I've got a lily pad behind there, so you got to remember those are going to be darker, but I could make it a little bit on the muddy side. Or they could be kind of transparent looking. That might work. So if I had that medium or the medium paintbrush paint, Just do the little knobbies first. I can go over top of them too with paint if I goof up. Okay, let's try that. And then I'll do a kind of a glazing. All right. So let's see. Got a bit of red. I could see what. Well, could put a bit of white, I guess. Let's get a little bit of a. Let's take this rake brush. See what we can do. This is all experimenting, guys. So I have this red, and I just put a little bit of white with it. No. Let's see. I think I want something flat brush. I want to be more precise. So let's do the white first. Water down. So I can go right over top of that. Yeah, I don't mind that. It takes on the color of the background a little bit, so it looks see-through. So that looks pretty good. So you don't want too much, although that would be, yeah, I'm thinking if her hair is there, would that be that color? Yeah. It's a mermaid. We'll make it that color. Might be a little darker, but we can still spruce it up a little bit. I want a little bit of a curve. And then there's colored in. So just a glazing so you can still see that blue in the background. Kathy, what was the white pencil you used? That was a General's white charcoal. They're good for going over top of your acrylic paint. All right, so we'll let that dry. Let me see what color markers I have here. Or we could do markers, or we could do colored pencil. This is fairly matte, so maybe colored pencil. What do you guys want me to do? Colored pencil or more paint on her hair for highlights and stuff? You're welcome. What do you think? Color pencils? Alrighty, we got vote for color pencil. So the brown, you can either stick to your brown shades, or if you want to give a little bit, I did put the plum in there, you could take into account that and use more on the plum shades. Let's see here. I have what's this one? Lavender, grayed lavender. That looks like a good one. So highlights. This is when you have to pay attention to your hair and how things are overlapping each other. So like this one on the top, just basically on the top, you would have a few strands highlighted, and we'll highlight even more, but there's different highlights. So you want to put those in, kind of like stray hairs in a way. So I like to kind of fan them out where they start. Let's see, there'd be, you can do more than one line, but don't do all the way down because the highlight catches the curl of the strand. So right here, there'd be a little bit, and maybe on the back of this one. Same with this here. That would be sticking out a little bit because it's hugging her face. I might go in with a bit of dark too. And then just a few light colors here. This is more or less the darker side of her face, but you can put some lines down where you think the hair might be turning. So here, where it's in the water, you might find a little bit of more defined strands, I guess you could say. So the large areas of those hairs that are in the water. That. Same with this here. So it shows the curves of the strands, which way they're going. There wouldn't be much in there because that's against her face. Maybe right here. And I can go in with some more lighter colors like a white to bring things out. So it'd be just a little bit of highlight, not a lot in here. Where those curves are. A few in here. And we have the hair overlapping each other, so you gotta put that in. So try to distinguish which way the hair's falling. A bit in here, maybe. Side of her head would have maybe a little bit more. Where it comes from her scalp. A few on the top here because that's where most of the light would be coming from. That, so I don't put, it in everywhere. Just kind of like, you can upload a picture of wet hair and take a good look at it. There's just not highlights from, say, white. There's many shades of highlight. Okay. Like that. And then, let's see, I'll keep that out in case I want to continue. I can take a brown that we use that's similar to this color here. This might work. Let's see. And just make the ends a little finer. So you'd have like strays. You want it fairly tight. Let's see. I don't think I want black. I want fairly. I wonder where all my. Just a minute. I gotta get a good pencil sharpener here. That one's not doing the job. I have one here. Try this one. I want a really fine point. See, nice fine point. So you don't want to. You want it as close to the color that you were using. Now you can get a little overboard too, so be careful not to do too many. Uh, I think that's good. There would be a fair amount on the top part there. And a few up here. We can put more in. Those ones don't really show. Then we can take, let's see, I don't know if I want to use a white colored pencil or a marker. Let's see what I got here. Nice. This one might work. Okay. For the real highlight areas, this one's not really working that great, but I'll try it. Blob. Here. That one blobbed, so I'm not going to use that again. Where are my? Oh, there it is. I think. Fine. Nope. Posca. Okay. Try that again. Because remember, she's got white hair, or not white hair, but wet hair. So there would be quite a bit of a shine here and there. But you would catch that. It's going over the nose there. little bit more of a highlight in some of those areas where you think it's the highest point, like on her shoulder here, would be a little bit more light. And in the water here, because there would be definite shine there. A little bit. I'm going to put a little lighter in there where her scalp is. Just a bit. All right. Let's leave that for a minute. Now, let's do these lily pads. Now, lily pads are all kinds of colors. So some are mottled, blue-green, bright green, yellowish color. So there's really no wrong green. So I'm going to do this as a phthalo green. And I'm going to have a little bit of yellow. And I want a brush a little bit bigger. Let's see. I'm going to mix some of this phthalo with the yellow. It's a little bit bright, so I want it more on the olive side. So you can, to dull your greens down, just add a little bit of red. So it's usually the complementary color across from your whatever color you're using. It will dull your color down and make it less bright. So there's the I'm just going to base coat this in this color. Now it's going to change a little bit because of the blue background, but that's fine. And this lily flower It's kind of overlapping this lily pad because the lily pad is behind it. So I want to go around the lily flower. And I'm not worried about the little white lines. Once this is dry, I can take a baby wipe and just wash over top, and all those lines will go away. Okay, so there's one. Let's make this one the same color right here. You can add a little more brown to it if you want, or a little yellow changed up. They're all different colors, so whatever color you want to make these. Like I said, they're all kinds of shades. Some of them have red undersides or purple underside. Might have some dieback on them, so they kind of get a yellow color, golden color with some spots on them. Yeah, let's see. Maybe we'll do this one in a little bit of brighter color. And then we'll go over top of them and add a little bit more color to them by modeling them, or you could just leave them too. It's up to you. So just look up lily pads and you'll see all kinds of different colors. Great. Let's add a little bit of yellow to this, brighten it up even more. This one, there's one overlapping the other one, so I'm going to make it a little bit different color. Now you can take your, if you're getting brush marks and you don't like that, use it to your advantage. And I mean by that is there's streaks sometimes in lily pads that go to the center of the lily pad. So it's kind of like a sunburst, if you will. You can do that. And then you don't have to worry about your brush marks. It'll be incorporated. So just make that part of the design. Why not? All right. I'll bring you guys out a little bit so you can see the whole picture. There. All right, so I'm just got the two colors here. And just a bit of red. I want to change the color up. This one I think I'm gonna add kind of a different color backing to it. It's kind of flipped on her shoulder. So we'll add that. I like the ones that are kind of burgundy on the back. They're really pretty. Like that. And you can do the same. Let it dry and then give it another coat if it's not dark enough. Let's darken this one up. Change them up if they're overlapping each other. That way you can just figure out what's what. So I just add a bit more red to the mix, and it makes it more into a olivey color, which is good. Paint around the go. I might even make that. Well, I can change. The first coat is the most important, and then you can change things up by either adding a little more yellow or a little more green or red, whatever. Get the first coat on. I've even seen some that have red in them. They're really cool looking. Let's see, this one. Don't want too much water on my brush. Try to use the strokes to your advantage. You can. Maybe these are kind of dying out a little bit more on the dying side. More green. Maybe a little darker in here. Trying to see how I did this. Overlapping a lot. I think I'm going to make this one darker. More red in this one, maybe. And another yellow one. Just change it up. These I can just use the side of my brush, just make some oval shapes. You can put in more if you want. Take out some, whatever. I think that's all of them. That one, that one, that one, that one. I think I have one here. I'm going to make this one kind of, oh dear, the pups are up from their sleep. There. Thanks, everybody. All right, so we'll give this a dry with heat gun, and then we'll add some other stuff to it. All right, so now we can either add shadows, highlights, blotchy patterns to them. Sometimes they have that. Shadows. Let's see, this one here could have ripples in it. So wherever there's a ripple, there'd be a highlight. And you could just take it to the center. And then you just take whatever color you want to. I think that would be darker. Kind of model it. It's kind of hard for you guys to see. Is this too dark for you guys? Just adding a little bit a lighter edge to this. A little dark here, let me. Is that better? Let me know. Let me see what you guys are seeing. It's funny, YouTube's different from what I see. Let's see. All right, I think that's better for you. All right. So I'm just playing with the different colors of green, yellow, bit of red or umber, whatever color you want to use. So here I think I'm going to put a little bit of a shot. Oh, too much water on my brush. A little bit of a shadow under here. This one. So I'm just swiping towards that center point again. And it can be random too, and different colors if you want. They're very unusual flower or leaves. This would have a shadow under it, so I'm just going to use some brown and put a shadow under there because it's overlapping. We'll put highlights on too. This one's fairly dark, but I think I could, let's see, put a little bit along the edge of the leaf. A little just indicating where that center point is. As long as you keep that streaking going towards the center, so you have to decide where the center is going to be. You should be good as far as making it look like a proper water lily. This one here I want a little bit. I can still see the water through it, so I'm going to make this a little bit darker. Let's put some brown in there. Again, I'm trying to keep my strokes towards the center. Maybe the center would be really dark because it's folded a little bit. This one here, I'm going to make it a light green, I think. But I want it toned down. Maybe even some white. Get a little bit lighter. Light olive green, maybe. So there's the center. I'm going to make this part. And these ones are easy. If you don't like what you did, just go back over it with another green. Just keep doing it. Till you like it. Because they're all different. That's the neat thing about them. They're all so different. I don't think there's two alike. Probably put some more in there. Oh my gosh, now they heard me. Maybe some brown. Mixed with that a little bit. So there's going to be my center. Maybe this one's got a little bit more brown in it. This one, there's the center. I'm going to make this one lighter. In the center. These aren't too bad, so I'm just going to add a little bit of difference between the one overlapping the other. So you could either lighten or darken depending on what colors you're putting down. But you want to have some kind of a distinguished distinguishing variants of color. And I'm going to put a little bit of shadow, maybe a little bit of red, like that. Or plum. Just underneath some of them. So you can see that there's a bit of a shadow. It doesn't have to be a lot. I'm taking this black plum, I think it's called, and just adding a little bit underneath some of these. Just to give a little bit of shadow effect. I'm not even cleaning my brush. I'm just using the very tip. That's actually a good color to use. Maybe I'll do it with this one here. This one is going to be plum on the bottom. It's still fairly dark, and it's not that dark when you see it in real life. It's actually fairly light. Let's see. A little bit of plum under here on the bottom. Just give it a little bit of shadow. That shadow really, yeah, it makes a big difference. So put a little bit more there. And then we'll put some highlight in too. Okay, there. Okay. And we want some of that white. Let's see. And a little bit of a highlight. Sometimes there's droplets of water in the center too. I'm not sure if I'm going to go that far. Let's see. Oh, too much water on my brush. That's too bright. But I can take off like that. You need a smaller brush when you do this. So you might see a little bit of a highlight around the edges sometimes. The water's kind of sitting. Might have an overlap. Sometimes they have rips in their pads too. So you can put all kinds of stuff in. You just have to play with it. Take a look at reference though, if you're not sure what to do. A little bit of so it's a very pale green almost that I'm using. But you'll just see here and there little glistens. Sometimes they, like I said, they have rips. Depends on how detailed you want to get. All right. Now for the lily, this one's going to be a white one. So just going to take my warm white and a little bit of probably yellow or green even. Let's do a little green and I'll take this greeny color. And I'll just put a little bit of green to that white for the bottom areas of the petals. Just in there. And then a little cleaner of a white on the upper parts. Now this has got the blue background, so I'm probably going to get some blue in there, but that's fine because white isn't white as far as flowers. They're usually either got a gray tinge to them, or depending on where they are too, will cast another color onto the white. And I'm not going to get too detailed with this one. So I'm just basically using the shape of my brush. It's on its side. It's a flat brush, but I'm using it on its side. And I'm using the strokes to add to my painting. I just want the right shape. So they do have a specific shape to their petals. So get the bases in, and then we can go back in and highlight or put shadows in or whatever. I'm just adding a little bit more white on the top. Nice white now. Oh, thanks, Ray. Stem will be green. You could take some green into the petals. And then, let's see, I'm going to take some of this yellow, it's bright yellow, for the stamens, and maybe a little white just to make sure it's good in. And I'm just going to use the side of my brush again. And let's dry it. Or we'll go on to this bud here. The bud's easy. It's just basically that white color. So use your brush to make the shape. the stem in where there is one. And then there's usually a quite a bit of green, so I'm just going to take that green while it's still wet from the bottom up, swipe it. Like that. What was that? You okay? Jeez. Coco, or Chloe fell down the stairs. She's fine. What are you doing? Good heavens. There we go. Let's dry it. All right, so then we can make a little bit of difference in the I think it's dry. Let's try colored pencil. So get a grayish color, warm probably. Let's see what we got here. And just separate some of these by shading a little bit of gray around your petal shapes. So wherever they're overlapping each other, there'd be a little bit of a shadow. And that will help define your like it'll be a little bit of a shadow underneath them too. Because they're kind of cupped, the shape of them. And then inside here, a little bit too. And then we can also get a marker. Where did I put it? Oh, there it is. And do the tips in the white. Just to get them a little bit more noticeable. I better shake it. Hi, Linda. It's a little bit more of a defining. your edges. Oop. Oh, did it again. Blobbed it. All right. I think that's not too bad. Maybe a little on here. They do have a definite shape. More rounded. Almost like a tulip, actually. And then we can take that gray. Just find the split. That. Maybe a little shadow underneath that gray from the shape of the bud. And I think a little bit darker. Find that there is a separation of where you see the petals, the way they're all cupped together. Like that. Could probably put a little more dark in here too. Down here. That. And then I'm going to go in between these stamens, darken their areas a little bit, just so you can tell that that's what it is. There we go. I don't know. I don't know if I want to highlight any more of this or not. Not all of them, but sometimes they do have veins. Not all the time. Depends on the type. But I know they do a lot of times have mottling. This one can have maybe some white veining in it. Down in the center. Like I said, look them up. Don't try and do them if you don't have any idea what they look like. You'll be a lot happier with the result then. That would be pink. A bit of pink veining in this one. There could be pink in some of these too. If you want to put a little bit of that in just to show the maybe the underside, or if they've got those pink undersides. Could just throw a little bit of that on. Just to add a little something. Where did I put that? Oh, there it is. Just want to fix your ears. Put circles on here so they're more noticeable. And maybe a highlight down them. Although it's not showing that much. Oh yeah, her highlight too. There. Bit there on her eyelid. And on the bottom here. And I'm going to throw a little bit more on her lip. Maybe a few speckles. Show that is water on her. I could, well, no. This is probably as far as I'm going to take it, I think. I think it looks good. Now I could go all out and put water droplets on the lilies, but for you guys, this is probably the best way to stop here, because I think I don't want you guys to get too overwhelmed in doing things. We'll do a lily with a water droplet separately so I can show you how to do it. Yeah, she's pretty. You'll have to try it, Xandra. You can do her whatever color you want. Okay, sign it. My goodness, I just lost my... Oh boy. Okay. No, that's not going to write on there. Uh, 22. Okay, so just that, and that's it. So I hope you'll try it. See what you can do with it, and I'll post this on Instagram, and then we'll we'll try something with water lilies so I can show you the droplets, because I know you can have droplets in the center and all that, but we'll do that another day. Love her dark hair most. Yeah, she looks good as a brunette. All right, so I'll let you guys go, and I hope you give this a try. Again, the traceable, which is this, is available for everybody, all levels on my membership and Patreon, and it starts at $2.99 a month, and you get all the traceables from the past 2 years. All right, I'll let you guys go, and thanks for joining me, and we'll see you on Tuesday. Have a great weekend, everybody. Bye for now.